The blockchain is for us a way to provide transparency on the transaction, immediate audit for anyone who want to verify all the transaction, and also a network which can process many transactions at the same time. And we didn't have to build it ourselves internally. We are benefiting from Fantom's ecosystem on that. So for the users, finally, they are just using an app without knowing that they are using a blockchain technology. They don't need to know it.
Yeah.
They are just using Retreeb to pay with their euros or their any local currencies at their their favorite shop.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Vertical Blocks, where today we're joined by João and Ambroise of Retreeb. Retreeb has been making the rounds on Fantom and crypto Twitter. I think a lot of people are excited about what they're working on and what they're bringing to the space. We're super excited to hear what they have to say. Of course, I have Cronje, architect of Fantom, director of Fantom, and as usual, your host, Juan Angel, head of marketing here at Fantom. So thanks, guys, for joining us. I think a great way to get started would be if you can tell us a little bit about yourselves and then give us a high-level overview of Retreeb for those who aren't familiar with your product and your offering.
Thank you for having us today. So to start, my name is João. I'm the head of marketing at Retreeb. I started one and a half years ago, as the community manager. So at the time, we didn't have any offices in Paris or everywhere else. And so the CEO, which is Jeremy Le Petit, was my teacher at that time. And I was just finishing my master's degrees. And I was also working in a company at that time, digital marketing company, quite a big company. I was not doing what I liked the most. And when Jeremy talked to me about Retreeb and the vision that he had, it was just a passion at first sight. And so also at that time, I was starting to dig more and more into crypto. And so I just jumped in the train, and the idea was to first create a community around Retreeb. And now today we are around 40,000 followers on Twitter. We have a very good community with very good engagement. They have been with us for quite a long time now, and we are actually very proud of what we achieved until today. So that's nice.
Yes, nice. So nice to meet you guys. That's my turn. My name is Ambroise Payelleville. I'm living in Paris. I'm the head of sales of Retreeb. I joined the company 4 months ago. I started my journey into crypto right before 2017 bull run, while I was ending my studies as a pharmacist, which is completely different from that ecosystem. And I became completely crazy, to be honest, about blockchain technologies. And I was expecting many applications in the healthcare industries and more than that. So I started dedicating my time on doing awareness trainings for my friends from friends and families, and then professional network. And from time to time, I became more and more involved into different French crypto communities while I was working for the healthcare industry at that moment as a head account for French companies. And I decided in last September 2022 to jump into a Web3 project at 100%, because to me it made sense to be part of this new revolution, and Retreeb was the perfect getaway from me. So yes, we'll be excited to tell you about this.
Well, it seems like you're both very passionate about what you're doing, which is probably the main thing to look out for in this space. So that being said, tell us about Retreeb. At a high level, what is it that you're offering? What are you bringing to the space?
Yeah, maybe you can start and you will complete. So the general idea about Retreeb is to build a sustainable fintech. This first idea came in the mind of our co-founders in 2019, but it became solid in 2021 when they decided starting building an app, a payment app. So basically, Retreeb is a Swiss registered company in Geneva with a French team, and we have our offices in Paris. Part of our team is also in Geneva, Milano, Abu Dhabi, Lyon. You can discover the full team on Retreeb.io. To understand what is Retreeb, I could simply say that we are developing a simple and responsible mobile payment solution where users can pay with their local fiat currencies through Retreeb's app. So it needs the app from the retailer, it needs the app from the user. But then it is important to understand why and how we developed Retreeb. We usually sell the story about that. Maybe I have first to start by saying that there will be more than 1,000 billion digital transaction in 2023 all around the world. And many players want a piece of that cake. We have many intermediaries today when we are paying through your Visa and MasterCard, you are paying with Apple Pay, you are paying with Square, Stripe, banks, all of that solutions. But nobody wants to change the recipe, to put this flow at the service of the major issues of our current world, except Retreeb. What we replaced is all of these intermediaries by processing the transaction on Fantom's blockchain. We built a complete economy between users and retailers, and we redistribute 33% of our revenues to meaningful projects. It can be an environmental project, it can be a social project, it will be always local. So this is what we built. And from all that companies, what they do is that they are following their rule of making as much profit as possible, which is the basic rule for a company. And we cannot blame that. But what we built as Retreeb is to make as much profit as possible to share with the people. So now payment as a simple daily act that connect the world and which is at the origin of the economy becomes something responsible and complete the full chain of consumption where people are changing their habits to buy something which is more local, more responsible. They also have now a new payment system which is committed. Maybe you want to add something or?
No, I think it's maybe you have. Was it clear? First question.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Andre.
Walk me through it practically, right? So like I download the Retreeb app, so I now have that app on my phone. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
Okay. Now I go to, I don't know. I've never been to France. What's the name of a big brand retailer there?
Today we don't have
Random.
big brand retailers to announce.
No, not specifically for Retreeb. I'm just flowing through the example. I'm not saying a current partner you have, but just give me a random place. I don't know what there is.
Oh, you can go to a Simply coffee shop, for example. You want to buy a
Okay,
coffee,
cool. Coffee shop.
have a drink with your friends.
So I rock up at the coffee shop, and now I want to make the payment. So does that assume that the Retreeb app that's on my phone, is that
Yes.
linked to my credit card or something, or is that linked to money that I have deposited into my Retreeb account, or?
The second one, exactly.
Yes.
So for now,
Okay.
we are not. It's not available on the app right now to link your credit card directly with the.
No, don't worry about now. We're talking future vision,
Okay.
mission statement stuff here. Like
Yeah, the main idea.
disclaimer to anyone watching: we're not talking about like what's available now. We're talking about what will be available.
Okay, yeah, but the main idea is exactly that. So you are going to, let's say, send like maybe 100 euros to your Retreeb app. They will be converted in stable Treeb. So where 1 equals 1, no matter where you are. In Europe, it will be the euro. In Switzerland, it will be the franc Suisse, etc., etc. And so 1 equals 1. So there is no conversion trouble and to buy anything you want. So let's say you pay your coffee €2, you pay your coffee two Treebs. So it's stable Treeb. It's the token that it's inside our network. You won't be able to use it outside. So you go there, you pay for your coffee in the way that the retailer, he will have the app on his side. He will simply input the amount. It will generate a QR code, and you with your app, with your Retreeb app, will simply open your app, scan the QR code, enter your security code. Maybe also it will be available with the biometric security. And once you scan it, it goes the transaction will flow on the Fantom blockchain which is very fast, and so your payment is done, and that's all.
So for the retailer, it's not so much different from what they know today. Just the user, at the moment you want to pay, you just say, yeah, I would like to pay with Retreeb. Then it depends on whether they have the app or not. If they have, they just have to open it, which is the almost same interface as a user, but just the main button is just a way to display a keyboard and to select the amount. Then, as João was saying, has to display a QR code. On the user side, you just have to open your app using the main button. Then you are scanning the QR code and validating that yes, you are up to paying this amount, and you validate with your fingerprint or with your keyboard code. So this is just simple, and then the transaction is validated in less than 2 seconds, and the amount is now attributed to the retailers. The retailers, for himself, it is just an account which is a way to be paid. So at the end of the day, they can withdraw this amount to their bank account. They are automatically withdrawn every 72 hours. So every 72 hours, all the bills they have been getting through Retreeb's app will be automatically withdrawn to their bank account. Now they don't have to worry about the amount of money which is at Retreeb's account. But then they can also do one when they want. And for the user, this is the same. As João was saying, you can deposit or withdraw your money on your Retreeb account at any moment, and then you have the possibility to pay in every retailer that accepts, that has the app, finally.
Okay. And as a user, again, not now when it's available. If I sign up as a Retreeb user, what do I need to do to become a user? What's my KYC AML requirements?
You want to go?
Yeah.
And by the way, if any of this stuff is too technical, just tell me that we'll get to it later.
Yes, this is the right question. This is a basic KYC process that you have to go through. This is not a complex one. You just have to give your ID, to give your name, a proof of address, and this is it. You just that's it. You can start depositing some amount of money and then using it. In the next week, we will be able also to do a peer-to-peer transfers. So it won't be available at the first day of launching the app, but this is another feature that is incoming. So you will have two possibilities using Retreeb's app, whether paying at a merchants or using it to reimburse your friends, to share money with your friends.
Okay. So is it fair to say that it's basically like a Circle USDC or Tether USDT plus a payments network at the back end, and then a consumer-facing wallet?
Yeah, for them it will be the same experience, and this is exactly what we want. We wanted to build, and we want to build now with Retreeb's apps, is to make something that even our parents or grandparents are easy to use. They have the feeling that they are paying with euros because we are not, as João was saying, we are not converting it to any official cryptocurrency. So there is no cash in and cash out issues we are sometimes hearing about. You are just using a mask on Fantom's blockchain that help us trace all the transactions. So this is just about a ledger. The blockchain is for us a way to provide transparency on the transaction, immediate audit for anyone who want to verify all the transaction, and also a network which can process many transactions at the same time. And we didn't have to build it ourselves internally. We are benefiting from Fantom's ecosystem on that. So for the users, finally, they are just using an app without knowing that they are using a blockchain technology. They don't need to know it.
Yeah.
They are just using Retreeb to pay with their euros or any local currencies at their their favorite shop.
Exactly. So today is not a sales argument for us, since we are not aiming for crypto or Web3 people. We are aiming on a larger scale, but we are also not hiding it. So it's not. Maybe in the future, and I hope in a very near future, we can look at our users and tell them, see, this is the fruit of a new technology that you were maybe scared of. You heard bad things about it, but everything works seamlessly and in a good way, because that's the main thing. It's that, as Ambroise was saying, the transparency will also help us to show that in every single transaction, 1/3 of the fees are directly linked to the project that the people choose. So that's one of our objectives.
Okay. And your stablecoin is Retreeb, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
Is that only internally for inside of the application usage, or are you guys planning on making it an external stablecoin as well?
Only internal. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys use it as a settlement layer, basically, between users.
Exactly. Yes. We have what we call the stable trade, which is, as João explained earlier, the exact one-by-one to your local currency. So if you are living in the UK, you will have your Retreeb pound. If you are living in France, you will have your Retreeb euro. If it will be always adapted to the local currency, but this is just an internal currency we use for the sake of the economy, local economy we are creating.
Yeah.
But it won't have any value out of Retreeb's app because of the security we can provide. We don't want it to be we don't want to be depending on any stablecoin or any issue from the outside of this Retreeb's economy. And also it allows us, by creating this economy, to capture this value, to redistribute it. It was linked finally. So we had to create this mask. And finally, you have also the second one, which is the famous utility Retreeb, which is available on some exchanges today. This utility Retreeb will be a more governance token. Today, we don't have the platform available, but it will be launched in a few months. We say by the end of this year. We will have what we call a CSR Launchpad. So CSR for social corporate responsibility, corporate social responsibility. It will be the way for us to help calling the community to select the project we are funding, just to make the more distributed, the more distributed way of choosing the project, more decentralized way. So it will be for the selection of the project, but also for many decisions we have in our development, in our strategy.
So if I can jump in here, Andre. So a few things I'm curious about. So I mean, one of the things that Andre and I have talked about before, as well as in other podcasts, is this idea of, where are we today versus where are we going in the future, and what's the total addressable market for just a crypto native audience versus the entire population of the world. And it seems like you're aiming for the latter and abstracting a lot of these technical complexities to make it easy for people to use it without even necessarily knowing that's what they're doing, and just reaping the benefits of it. And it's really, it seems pretty clear from the user's perspective, what some of those benefits will be, including some of these more philanthropic things that people may be aligned with. Now, from the retailer's perspective, I imagine that's part of why they brought you on board, Ambroise, as head of sales. What is you're kind of dealing with the cold start problem here, where you're figuring out, how do I set up network effects so these different retailers say, okay, it's worth to integrate Retreeb as a payment solution at my store or coffee shop or chain or whatever it is. What's the point? What's the value proposition for them, right? And how are you cutting into that enormous market of Visa and MasterCard and the transaction fees they take?
That's an excellent question, indeed. For the retailers, there are many things to mention. First, they have a possibility to show their commitment to global issues. It's about social, it's about an environment. They know that these are growing thoughts in the mind of their consumers. Even if they are not sharing it in their heart, they can be part of it. So it can be a good way for them to show and to address a new population that are looking for people who accept that kind of responsible payment. This is the first point. Second, if we consider their actual life, they have a big pain point with the current electronic payment terminal. This terminal, to accept the one you use to accept Visa or MasterCard payment, is the most painful thing if we consider the payment, because sometimes it's disconnected from the network and they don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it needs to be connected to the network at the right moment you are making someone to pay. So they have many problems with them, and also they charge many fees, from regular fees to the commissions, and they don't necessarily understand why they are paying for that. These all painful, these all pain points, they don't exist through Retreeb, because they can use Retreeb on any device they have. It can be an iPad, it can be an iPhone, it can be any device they have, personal one or professional one. They don't have to pay each month for the to have the solution. They don't have to pay for the deliveries of that, and they are not committed to any monthly payment or something like that. So they can start using Retreeb for a few days and decide after a few days that they don't want to use it anymore. So they are free to change at any moment, to come and to go. So this is the second point, because now we are providing to them a new payment solution which is free from electronic payment terminal, which is a big surprise for them. And last but not least, this is a really easy to use app with maybe 5 seconds needed to make the people pay. So it's really easy for them. If you think about, for example, for the restaurants, when you have 8 people at the same table and they all want to pay at the same amount, they just want to share the bill all together. Today, with the electronic payment system, you have to do it 8 times, and to accept each Visa. For us, this is not necessary. They just need one QR code, which is the same amount for their account, and every member of the table can pay. So this is really, really fast for them to accept the payment. So these all 3 big things are really changing their life, and it is first really surprising for them to have a QR code payment system. So we have to explain it and to reassure about the funds. Where are the funds for them? But it can be an opportunity for them to address a new population and to be part of something bigger than all of us.
Coming from a crypto native kind of background, and you mentioned how you were both fascinated with blockchain technology, that's why you went down this route. What are some of the most common objections you hear from, let's say, a coffee shop, right? When you're coming to them and saying, hey, we want to present you with this new solution, it runs on blockchain technology. Like, what are some of those reactions that they initially come up with that you have to overcome in that sales process?
Maybe I should say that the most surprising thing for me as a crypto guy, as I started 5 years ago, I decided to join a company where we are not promoting blockchain first, to be honest. When we come to a retailer, and we just did it last week again, in the city where we will be launching in a few days, we are not telling them about blockchain, because today, to be honest, this is not something that will reinforce the speech from us. It will create just questions that are unnecessary. What is important in the mind of the retailer is first that they are not losing their money. They can get the money the people are paying, and they are sure that it will come, because sometimes they have some surprises with the bank systems. Second is that this is easy to use and it will be fast. So this is where we start. To be honest, when we go to a retailer, we just ask them, what about the payment they are using? What are the pain points? And we know that we are addressing each of these pain points. So if they tell me about the way this is not fast, or this is too expensive to have 3 or 4 electronic payment terminal, we give them the way to say that, yes, you will have an app which is free on the store. You can download it on 4 devices if you want with the same account. You can have 4 people doing payments with customers at the same time without paying more than just the commission. Because at Retreeb, we don't have a fixed fees every month. You just have the commission, which is at a lower level than French. And I didn't give you the details about that a few minutes ago, but maybe I can tell a word on it. In France, we consider that commissions for the retailers are about 1.5% on each payment. Sometimes you have fixed fees as well, a few cents. This is why they don't accept payments that are lower than 10 euros or 15 euros, because they have only fees and the amount in percentage is too high. So you need cash. But we know that we will lose more and more cash. We won't use so many more time the cash in our system. So they need to find a way better than the current one. At Retreeb, we decided to put at 0.9%, so 0.9%. So this is one of the lowest amount of commission, and this is it. There is nothing else. So no surprise at the end of the month for the accountable department. This is just clear for them. This is transparent and easy to understand.
One of the things that I'd be curious about as well is, when a lot of crypto companies are launching, they're just kind of launching to the internet, right? Like that's kind of their goal. Like, hey, this applies to everybody. But it sounds like what you guys are doing is more focused on specific geographies. So similar to maybe how Tinder launched, like university campus by university campus, you guys are doing city by city. What's your reasoning for the approach to that? And how do you decide to go that route versus just saying, anybody in Europe or whatever continent that wants to use it can integrate this and go ahead with it, right?
Yeah, because I think I can answer on that. The main issue we can encounter with what we are doing is that to build a new payment system, we need adoption from both parts, so the user and the merchants. And this is the most difficult objective that we have today and that we will have in the near future. And that's why we choose to put all our marketing and sales efforts in one single city. So, of course, there were studies in a lot of cities in France, like Paris and a lot of different cities. What we wanted was a city that had a very important mass of students, because young people will maybe adopt our app in an easier way than maybe older people, and also because of the political side of this town, and a lot of different other principles that we studied. And so the idea, is to put all our efforts in the same town, so we can have at least some merchants who accept Retreeb as a payment system, and then we will just spray a lot of marketing around the universities and around the city, especially young people, so they can adopt the app and try. This will be the first town, and the idea is that they can talk or speak to their friends And the idea is to first start in the small city and then try to make it viral on the rest of the country. Of course, once we do this marketing session, let's say in this city, that will take maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 1 month. We will then go to another city, etc., etc. But the idea is just to go like plant the seed in different cities and then hope for a bigger thing. Yeah. And also because we thought to ourselves that we could eventually launch the app on the app stores and launch maybe global marketing, if you can call it like that, and say, okay, everyone in Europe can download the app and start to use it. But if you download the Retreeb app as a consumer today, and you see that the nearest merchant that can accept it is like, I don't know, 5 or 10 miles or kilometers away, you just won't use it. So we would have a lot of loss if we do this, if we have done this. So that's the main reason for this strategy.
Yeah, what we learned from our blockchain experience is that everything is about trust when it comes to money. So we need to make a proof of concept first before then doing mass marketing. And starting by Tours, which is a mid-sized French city we elected as the launching city, we experienced that in this city, first, they are sensitive to what we say, our messages. They are really caring about people and the environment. So this is easy to first convert the first small retailers, independent one, because then it's definitely harder to convert a big account that has many shops in France or in Europe because they don't want to take that risk. So we can test that risk, do the stress test on small retailers in Tours, then to convert big accounts that are implanted in Tours and to make them use this city as a test, then to deploy the other cities. And the experience of that proof of concept we will have will help us deploying in the rest of France. So at that moment, we will be able to address key accounts that are national ones, let's say. Then at the same time, we can also deploy on online shops, big ones, and it will help us from step by step gaining good reputation and the proof of our concept. So then at that moment, we can start doing step by step this mass marketing, telling the people to download and just to try. We will be more confident on that because we will have that basis, user base.
Well said. I was gonna the next thing I was gonna ask was, so you recently made the announcement, right, that you're in the iOS store now, right, in the Apple, the equivalent of the Google Play Store. I know for crypto companies that are trying to go mobile first, that's one of the big hurdles that they're trying to figure out how to overcome. You know, what's that process like, and what are some of the things that people should take into consideration when, you know, if we're being frank here, you're still dealing with a gated kind of environment that does have, you know, centralized decision makers behind it, but that's the way that people access that technology nowadays. You have to go through and ask for permission to be approved, to be listed. What does that look like, and what should people be looking out for in that process?
I'd say we are maybe not the best ones on the team to talk about this. All I can say is that on the marketing side, because of course I have to ask questions to the product team about this, it's not a very easy process, let's say. So today, yes, we had the green light from the App Store, the Google Play Store, not yet. But from what I can see, the Apple's the Play Store, no, sorry, the Apple one is a bit harder to get through. I don't think I can answer that your question. I'm very sorry.
No,
that's fine.
What is hard for us is that we have two apps, so we had to do it twice on both stores. Yes, indeed, this is slightly different from one to another. But what is common is that when they have a question about your product, you have to restart from the beginning. So it means that it takes time. So we have to, as an advice for the people who want to start doing the same thing, they have to anticipate that timing, because it needs many negotiation phases and explanation, because even if when you are coming with a new product that nobody knows about, we had to explain that we are not selling anything, we are just creating a new payment system. So they need you to fit in a case, in a box. So once you check the right box and they understand, it is a go. So at that moment, we have the go for the Apple Store at that day, and we are expecting the one from Google Store soon. But yes, it's in process, and it needs many exchanges with them.
That is helpful to know. Having worked on lots of mobile apps and having sold software to mobile apps before, I know that is quite an arduous process. That's very times oftentimes opaque and very difficult to understand, like what the criteria is. So I think it's helpful for you guys to share what that was like. I suppose, as we're getting closer to wrapping up the conversation, what are some of the exciting things that people might want to look out for, that you have planned for your roadmap or to look forward to in the near future?
Yeah, we have many of them. First, I should tell you about what we announced recently is our project our NFT project we created in partnership with a group from the United Nations, which is called the UNCDF. It's one organization of the United Nations. Why we did that is that the objective was to raise awareness about the 17 goals we have from the UN for a better world. We know that this is really well known from everyone, but not necessarily understood. So we decided to use art to raise awareness on it by doing a prospection about whether we go to we achieve this objective, this goal, or we don't achieve this. So there is a dystopia and an optimistic way. So each goal, 17 goal, has one artwork. So 34 different artworks, and they will be sold in a few days by the end of February. And it will be a way for us to raise awareness about that, about all that matters. So this is a non-profit sales for us. All the benefits will go to the UNCDF, but this is a way of soft power, let's say, for that. So this is the first thing that is really exciting for us, because we have to be really thankful from the United Nations to partner with a company that doesn't have a product sold so far. So it was really a trust proof from them about what we are preparing. Second, there will be maybe one of the main features that will be coming in the next few weeks is the peer-to-peer system. It will be completely free for the users. So we have some apps in many countries, different countries, where we can use to reimburse our friends. Then you will have also Retreeb, which will be able to do that. And second thing, which will be coming in a few months, let's say 2-3 months, is the possibility to use our system on websites. So at the moment, we will launch with the app, which is available for the retailers, but you will be also to have you will be able to use the online plugin on your website. So this is something our development team developers are working on to make it available on any type of website. Yes, do you have any other?
Not really. I think regarding the token, we have some different, some new things that will be coming regarding the governance of the token. So also regarding the ads inside the app. So there will be token distribution to the token holders. So that's nice. But yeah, it was mainly what Ambroise said. Just a heads up, the peer-to-peer, as he said, I think that in almost every country, at least that we know, at least in Europe, you have quite a big app or a big company that already does this. But the idea behind this, and what it's maybe first because we can do, and it's also an argument for us to keep the user inside our ecosystem. So it will maybe be an argument to delete the other app. And if you are using Retreeb to pay every single day, I mean, you can of course use it also to send money to your friends. So that's a good argument for us, I think, in the future.
And I think maybe also important for token holders, because I mentioned it quickly earlier, is about the CSR Launchpad. So the main principle of it is that we will have projects that will be shortlisted and presented to the community. And by staking their tokens on that platform, we are developing, they will be able to select the project. Then it's a way for us to decentralize the way of doing that kind of decision, and they will get APY on their tokens by participating this Launchpad. So this will be launched by the end of the year, before the end of the year.
Awesome. I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff here today. Where can people go to learn more about, for example, your work with the UN and all these different initiatives in the roadmap? What's the best place to stay up to date on everything Retreeb?
So mostly on Twitter. It's every single day you have news. That's our main platform. If you want to dig a little bit more and to stay connected with the community, you can go to our Telegram, which is also nice. And every single time that we have, like, let's say, a bigger announcement, something that is well written with a lot of info, it's on our Medium page. So I think those are the main three things. Also, if you want, you can check our new website. So it's not retreeb.io, it's retreeb.com, which is the website, once again, that it's not done for the Web3 people. It was done for everybody. So it's it is completely changed from what you can see on the Web3 ecosystem. Let's say it's something maybe more friendly, with friendlier words also, and you can see the type of marketing and the type of actions that we will be doing, and the way we are trying to approach this mass adoption.
Awesome. Well, we'll drop those links in the show notes as well, so that everybody can head on over if they want to check it out. But thank you both for your time today. Thanks for walking us through it, explaining it, bringing down a lot of those go-to-market strategy concepts that I think are difficult to grasp. Yeah, we're looking forward to putting this out there and maybe doing another one in the future. So thanks again, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.